All right, so I made a 30-second spec ad for a local record company. I'll show it to you now, and then we'll get into some of the shots and how I did it. So I have two lights going here. I have one, an Amaran 300C that is over out of frame on the left side. I'm shooting it down with a little light dome. I don't know what capacity this is at. I kind of just toyed around with it on the app, looking at it, and what I really wanted to do and what I cared about in this scenario was kind of creating this contrast on my face here. I wanted there to be, I didn't want my face to fully be kind of shadow side. The way that I was shooting this, all the sunlight's coming from the other side, and then my face was just completely shadowed out, and there's no real contrast. So that's one side of things. An Amaran 300C to kind of get this effect, and on the other side of things, I have a 100DS light that I have very out of frame just over here. So you can imagine this light over here kind of shining down on me to create this rimming of my face. Again, it's super subtle and not very obvious, and I'm not sure if it's even worth to do, but I found that that's what worked for me, and it kind of gave this scene a little bit of depth. You can see the receiver better. The shadows that would be here are no longer here, and just so I kind of like at least I was able to pull off. You get shadow side here, and then highlights on this side, and a little bit of a rimming effect. But yeah, on to the next scene. Cool. This scene was inspired by the Spotify ad that I found that some film institute had made. It was a spec ad, and it was just probably it was such a nice ad. I was really inspired, kind of subconsciously, to make this because of that. And one thing they did really well was the way that they framed the hand during the vinyl scene, where they're putting the record on. I'm still establishing that the sun is coming in from the east in this window, and so what I did is we have this warmer 300C coming in. It's hitting a curtain, and then what that was able to do is get my hand to kind of have this rim effect to where we have you can see the outline of my hand. But that really wasn't enough actually. So on the left side, I got that. On the left side, I also got that MRN 100D, and I put a gold reflector to it. So you kind of have this gold reflector coming into the scene to still get more of this glow, and then also add these kind of lines onto the record player to get some depth. This just allowed the scene to be a bit more kind of holistic and bright. If I didn't have this 300C coming in, you wouldn't get the hand light right here, and you also would not get the background area to be as lit as it is in terms of the highlights, and you can still kind of establish depth of scene. This is probably my favorite scene just from, execution of things, where I thought that the close up went extremely well, and I was able to get some effects and kind of get my face to look pretty full. I've shot stuff in the past like this, and I didn't really understand how to create depth. Few subtle things happening here. There's this white light that again is the 100D shooting through just a little diffusion, just a little scrim that I have, like a circle scrim that's like a 4-in-1 reflector. So you can imagine that coming from this side. So this is coming in from this side, shooting this way. And then besides that, you have negative fill just because you know, there's no light coming in from this side. If I could, I would have had a black sheet on the other side to create more kind of contrast, but I did not have that. But on the other side of things, I still have this 300C that's outside with a warmer light. So it's a little bit hard to tell, but I have this framing right here where you can see in my beard a little bit. It's gold, actually. So that's pretty cool that I was able to get that. But you have this like, okay, this outline of me to where, you know, it's a bit more full of a picture. Again, this could be negligible, but I want to try out these different scenes and see how they go. But just to recap, I have the 100DS shooting through a diffusion on this side, creating the highlights on this side of my face. The shadows are just created from the lack of light on the other side, and then you have this little rim light that is coming from the 300C with a warmer light coming from outside. So this is the final shot where it's kind of a wide out to close off the shot, kind of finish out the thing. It's going to go blurry and they're going to show the logo. Um, so there's a few things I wanted to do. I wanted to create a bit of depth here. The way I did that was having the receiver and then a plant on this side and then kind of having the wall on this side. And then, you have some lights in the background and still just kind of following theme as to what I was doing. My headphones are on, same shirt, got the record that I just put out, and there's two lights happening here. One of them is creating this rim around the plant and the receiver. One thing I don't like about this is that it's still a little too cool. I wish it was warmer. I want it to be like the lights hitting it from the back, and that's kind of what the feel is supposed to be. But I have this 100 DS just shooting full speed with spotlight just right into here so you can see this at least properly, get some reflections. And then further back about 2 to 3 feet, I have the 300C shooting angled down at me to create this kind of rimming effect on me as well. One thing I didn't like is that the rimming itself was a bit to the side and it was really harsh. If I could redo this, I'd probably put the softbox on it and then angle it towards the back, maybe even actually put it outside again. Again, I shot this over 3 days, so we're getting there. But yeah, that's kind of the spec ad. I think the goal with these is to just learn. I want to hear some stuff in the comments if I can, what you would change to kind of change the composition of shots, lighting, anything you do to make this look better. I want to just start making a bunch of these at least once per week, and then over the next month or two have a decent reel of things where, hey, I can make spec ads and eventually, start pitching full ad spots. Still doing a lot of corporate and lifestyle work, but yeah, if I can make the transition and have my website and my name attached to directing and DPing on this type of stuff, it'd be really cool. Thanks for tuning in, and yeah.